Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. Coming at you with multiple different Snake Eye deck lists and combo lines. As Oak is about to get unbanned, a lot of people have been asking just how good is Snake Eye going to be and what are the best ways to play it. I'm going to cover 3 lists that I've been theory crafting ever since the Oak unban was announced, and we're going to be going through the lines. I'll show you not only how to combo, but also how to play around Nibiru, a hand trap that is obviously very good against Snake Eye, which is going to summon a lot. And of course, Snake Eye is no longer able to rely on Appaloosa to summon mid-combo to protect its line or to add to its end board. So we're going to show you exactly what this deck is capable of once the new ban list changes take effect. As always, got to give a huge shout out to Patreon members and also YouTube members as well. But definitely want to highlight Patreon today as we post exclusive content over there that does not get uploaded to YouTube. We often talk about new card reveals, the metagame for the TCG and OCG, as well as sharing some of the replays that we don't have time to go over here on the channel. So if you're interested in all of that exclusive content, head over to patreon.com/hexlex, link in the description below, and subscribe over there. Much appreciated. You'll also get your name featured at the end credits of every video. But let's go ahead and get right on into it. Alright, so the first list that we're going to cover is Snake Eye, Fiendsmith, Mitsurugi. I think that this is going to be one of the better ways to play Snake Eye kind of generically. I mean, Snake Eye's never been a generic deck, but last time Oak was legal, we were playing Millennium, Fiendsmith, Snake Eye. So I think it makes sense to substitute the Millennium engine for the Mitsurugi engine, which has a lot more power behind it. Also want to note that for these combo lines, we're going to always be starting off the same way, with normal summon Snake Eye Ash going into our plays. It's worth noting that it doesn't have to be necessarily normal summon Snake Eye Ash, right? It could be Diabellstar to set up the original Sinful Spoils. Wanted to search Diabellstar, you could have original Sinful Spoils plus any hand trap, or you could even open Poplar to normal summon for original Sinful Spoils. And there's always Bonfire as well. So even though I'm going to show you normal summon Snake Eye Ash, again, there's lots of ways to play. So the way that we're going to start this combo line is how we're going to start a lot of the other combo lines I'm going to show you today. And it's a way that lets you combo with these various engines and decks while still staying NIBIRU-proof. Here's how you set that up. We're going to begin with normal summon Snake Eye Ash, activating the effect for Poplar. Poplar can then special summon, and then on summon will activate in order to add Temple. Now we're going to activate Temple, placing Snake Eye Diabellstar, and then we're going to link Poplar into Linkuriboh. First, very important note here, do not activate Poplar's effect yet. We're going to actually want to leave it in the graveyard, that way we can activate Snake Eye Diabellstar effect to place it and then summon. Now at this point we can go Snake Eye Ash effect and going for the Oak. But actually before we do that, let me back up a second, because if you opened Diabellstar, the Black Witch, and started your combo line that way, or if you opened Hand Trap plus original Sinful Spoils and started your combo line that way, this is where you're at your 5th summon, and this is where you're going to get hit with the Nibiru. So if that happens, then what you can do is, for this deck in particular, you could link off the Nibiru for a Link Spider, and also when the Nibiru is special summoned, it'll trigger your Temple to summon out the Poplar. So once you have Link Spider plus Poplar, you can link those into Moon of Closed Heaven and still make plays. You can even still make Mitsurugi plays with the right cards in your extra deck. Now in this particular line, we're still on our 4th summon, meaning that the Nibiru would be live on the Oak summon, which is the 5th summon. Even though we no longer have Poplar in the spell trap zone, this is still fine, because if they were to drop Nibiru right now, Oak's effect is still on the chain link and you would still get a body off the Oak effect. Now Oak is going to be chain link 1, Poplar is going to be chain link 2. This will chain block the Oak against Ghost Spell, and also it'll put Poplar back in the spell trap zone. So that way if they Nibiru you here, it's still the same thing. Temple will trigger, you'll summon Poplar, you can link the token into Link Spider, and you can still go into Moon of Closed Heaven. So again, this is going to be a very crucial way for playing around Nibiru with the Snake Eye engine. And at this point, we're going to activate Oak, And it doesn't really matter if you send Poplar or Temple, because either way, you're going to have the Flamberge online. Now if they drop a Nibiru on us, we still get the Flamberge bodies. So this is how you are able to push through the Nibiru using only your Snake Eye engine without Appaloosa. And this is going to be consistent throughout all of the Snake Eye lines that I show you. Alright, now moving on to specifically Fiendsmith Mitsurugi lines. We're going to, after summoning the Flamberge, summon out the Moon, then go Requiem for Lacrima. Lacrima is going to dump Engraver, but we're not going to summon the Engraver off its effect just yet. Instead, we're going to first activate Requiem and equip to the Lacrima. Now, we have a Spellcaster monster plus a Link monster, because remember, Snake Eyes Diabellstar is actually a Spellcaster, and we can send those away for the Magistus Chorozo. Now that we have Chorozo and Lacrima in play, that's 2 level 4 monsters, meaning we can overlay them for King of the Feral. So this is how we're pivoting into Mitsurugi. Remember, if they still try to Nibiru you at this point, we still have Flamberge up that has not used its effect, and we'll summon out multiple Snake Eyes bodies. Alright, now we're going to activate King of the Feral Imps to add Habakiri. Habakiri is going to activate to summon Saji and then tribute it. Saji effect will activate in order to add the Mitsurugi Ritual. Ritual is going to activate here, summoning the Habakiri from hand. We're going to send the Kusanagi as well as an Aramasa from our deck to the graveyard. Not playing Night Sword Serpent in this build because it's a little bricky and we don't really have the room for it. But we're going to go Chainlink 1 Kusanagi, Chainlink 2 Aramasa to chain block against Ghost Spell yet again. We're going to add the Habakiri off Aramasa and then add back Ritual. Ritual is going to tribute the Habakiri on field to summon Murakumo from deck. Habakiri gets to revive and then add the prayers. Now at this point, we're going to actually overlay our 2 level 8 Snake Eyes monsters for number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. And now we are actually Nibiru-proof, right? It's very important in all of these lines that whatever negate against Nibiru you're summoning, you do it before you send away your Flamberge. So now that we have done that, we can freely send away the Flamberge, but we're not going to do it just yet. We're going to do it in a moment. Now we're going to activate Engraver from the graveyard, put back Moon, and then we're going to link it away with the King of the Feral Imps for Sequence. Sequence can activate for the Snake Eyes, or sorry, the Snake Eyes, the Fiendsmith's Desiree. Now it's very important for this combo line in particular that we're summoning exactly Desiree. We're not going Lacrima into Caesar here, because, well, you'll see in a second. We're going to link away Sequence plus the Flamberge into Promethean Princess. This will trigger the Flamberge, and it's very important that we put one of the level 1 bodies directly underneath the Promethean Princess. We're going to use Promethean Princess to revive Flamberge, after of course we equip the Desiree with Sequence, but we don't want to put Flamberge in this zone because we would need to keep Flamberge on the field through our combo line, and this monster under Prom Princess needs to be linked away. Alright, at this point we are fire-locked, but we can use Desiree's effect to negate Promethean Princess, and now we're no longer fire-locked. So we can link the Ash plus Poplar into IP, and now we're going to link IP plus Promethean Princess into Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. Because we made it with IP Masquerena, it won't be able to be destroyed by card effects, and through its own effect, it can't be targeted either, making for a very effective Towers monster. Now we can activate Flamberge effect, place IP in the spell trap, and then we are going to set up the prayers face down as well. So this is what our inboard is going to look like. We have the number 90 negate, which you'll want to detach Murakumo. That way you can then activate prayers to revive Murakumo, get the board wipe, and have Murakumo's negate. Desiree can negate any card on the field. Flamberge at any point can special summon the IP, which can then be linked into SP Little Knight. Don't forget we have Promethean Princess to also then pop a fire monster as well as a monster on our opponent's field. And again, our Mech Knight Crusader Avermax is a 3k Towers monster that can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be targeted by card effects. Your opponent's going to have to battle Avermax before any other monster on your field, and it'll pretty much always win any battle against a special summoned monster. So yeah, that's going to be the end board for, again, Snake Eyes with Fiendsmith and Mitsurugi. But there's other variants I want to show you, so let's go into the next one here. Next up is Snake Eye Yummy. This is actually a variant I was even meaning to try before the Oak unban was announced, and since that has been announced, I think this variant has become a lot stronger. Let's show you how. We're going to start with Snake Eye Ash yet again, plus any other random card in our hand. Alright, let's begin with normal summon Snake Eye Ash to add Poplar. Poplar effect is special. We're going to add Temple. Same way we started the last combo line. Temple to place the Snake Eye Diabellstar. Link to Linkuriboh. Do not activate Poplar's effect when you link into Linkuriboh. Instead, leave it in the graveyard for Snake Eye's Diabellstar to activate and then special. Now we're going to use Ash effect to summon Oak. Oak is going to revive the Ash's Chainlink 1, Poplar's Chainlink 2. And now you have not only successfully chain blocked against Ghost Spell, but you've also made your board Nibiru-proof. Again, if you had gotten hit with Nibiru, you could have used Link Spider off the token, plus Temple, summoning Poplar, to in this case go for Cupsy Yummy Way, is how you would then pivot into more plays. And of course, after the Flambridge is summoned, if you get hit with Nibiru, then you can still link off the token into Link Spider, and then you'll have more bodies to make Cupsy Yummy Way with. But now that we've set up our Snake Eye bodies, what we're going to do here is we're going to actually use Linkuriboh plus Snake Eye Ash to go into Cupsy Yummy Way. Now, because we already used our normal summon, I'm not going to add Marshmallow Yummy. I'm going to add Cupsy Yummy for sure, and then either Cookie or Lollipo. But from this point moving forward, we're going to have non-light beasts on the field, and again, we've already used our normal summon. So, for that reason, I'm not adding Marshmallow, I'm adding Cookie. However, if you had led with Diabellstar, and in turn you still had your normal summon, then you could get Marshmallow here and just normal summon it. Alright, so now we're going to special summon Cupsy Yummy. It's very important that you do this before the next step, because we're about to synchro away the Cupsy Yummy Way, but if we do that, we won't have a level 2 synchro monster on the field. So, special summon Cupsy Yummy, add Yummy Surprise before you synchro away the Cupsy Yummy. Now that we've done that, we can synchro Cupsy Yummy plus Flambridge into Baron de Fleur. So now, obviously, we have the Omni Negate to protect against the Nibiru, and this will trigger the Flambridge effect to revive our Snake Eye bodies. We're going to link summon IP Masquerena and then Promethean Princess. Prom Princess will revive the Flambridge, and then the Flambridge can place the IP. Now we have the problem of being fire locked, and we need to still go into our Yummy plays. To solve it on this board, we're actually just going to straight up use Baron de Fleur's effect to destroy our own Promethean Princess. That way, we're no longer fire locked. We can make Snatchy, Snatchy from Mignon, Mignon to revive Cupsy. Now we're going to synchro into Lollipo. Lollipo to revive Cupsy Yummy Way and then Cupsy Yummy. And we're actually going to synchro the two of them into Martial Metal Marcher. Metal Marcher revives the Cupsy Yummy Way. And then we're going to link into Sprite Elf using our two level 2 Yummy Synchro monsters. Now we can use Sprite Elf in order to revive Lollipo, and since we once again have a level 2 Synchro monster on the field, now we can special summon the Cookie Yummy from our hand, and then Synchro summon into Herald before setting Yummy Surprise and passing, leaving this as our end board. We have the Baron de Fleur Omni Negate. Once again, we have the Flambridge summoning the IP with the Promethean Princess set up in our graveyard. And on top of that, we also have this Yummy setup. We have the Elf target protecting the Herald of the Arclight, and we also still have Lollipo Yummy Way and Yummy Surprise to revive Yummy monsters from our graveyard and get plays going. Of course, if you use Lollipo Yummy Way, you can use Yummy Surprise for the bounce effect. A lot of very layered interactions on this end board, and you can do it in a lot of different orders as well. So I think this is definitely one of the stronger Snake Eye end boards in the current metagame. But I still have one last one to show you. Let's go into that combo line. Okay, this final combo is going to be for Snake Eye Orcust. Orcust, of course, has kind of been falling off lately in terms of power level, and it might just be that Snake Eye is exactly what it needs in order to give it that extra oomph again. So here's how to start with Snake Eye Ash plus a couple of cards from your opening turn 1 hand, and then turn that into a full Orcust end board. So what we're going to do is normal summon Snake Eye Ash, activate in order to add Poplar. Poplar is going to activate to special, and then add the Temple. Temple will place the Diabellstar, link it to Linkuriboh. Don't activate Poplar's effect when you link into Linkuriboh. Leave it in the graveyard for Snake Eye Diabellstar. And then we can activate Ash for Oak. And then Oak can activate as Chainlink 1 with Poplar as Chainlink 2. Place in the spell trap. Summon Snake Eye Ash. Activate for the Flambridge. Now here in particular, I'm sending away the temple because we're going to place Babel anyway later, so it's like you might as well send it. And again, as always, by doing your Snake Eye setup in this order, you leave yourself with multiple bodies if you ever get hit with Nibiru at any point. Okay, now we're going to make Moon of the Closed Heaven going into Requiem. Requiem is going to summon out the Lacrima. Lacrima is going to send the Engraver. We're going to summon Engraver, putting back Moon, link Engraver plus the Lacrima into sequence. Now we're going to summon out Fiendsmith's Lacrima, and then make the Caesar. So yet again, before we link away the Flamberge here, we're always going to want to make sure that we have a way to counter Nibiru. So in that case, it's going to be Caesar off the Fiendsmith line for this particular combo. But now that that's set up, we can link away Sequence plus Flamberge for Prom Princess, reviving our level 1s. Prom Princess revives Flamberge. Now we're going to go into Nightmare Phoenix and then the Mermaid. And that's how you can unfirelock yourself in the Orcust version, because we want to make Nightmare Phoenix to go into Orcust stuff anyway. So we're going to use the Nightmare Mermaid, discarding one of our random cards in hand for the Orcust Nightmare, and then link that off for Galatea Eye. Galatea Eye is going to discard for the Babel, activate Babel. Now we can summon Link 2 Galatea and IP. Orcust Nightmare dumps Harp Horror. We can use the Link 2 Galatea to set our Crescendo. Now Harp Horror for the Girsu. Girsu dumping the World Wand. We can World Wand revive the Harp. And then we can go into our Enlil Girsu, which has a banished target to take control of something. So yeah, that's our setup for Orcust, and then of course we still have the Flamberge with the Promethean Princess in the yard. We've got the Caesar, we have the IP, and then we have, again, our Orcust set up with the Enlil Girsu and the Counter Trap as well. Alright, let's break down each of these deck lists in a little bit more detail, going card by card so you know what's all in them. Starting off with the Snake Eye Mitsurugi list. This one is notably going to be 44 cards. So the reason for that is because we have so many engine pieces. We also have access to a ton of starters as well. I think this deck actually has 20 different starters. So the main reason to go over 40 here is actually just to have room for a decent amount of hand traps. And because we play so many starters, as well as a few one-offs we're not super trying to open, I think that more than justifies going a decent bit over 40 here. But yeah, I think, like I said before, Snake Eye with Mitsurugi and Fiendsmith is going to be one of the better ways to play the deck moving forward. Because again, thinking back to last time Oak was legal, Millennium Fiendsmith Snake Eye was kind of the premier way to play the deck. So again, it kind of makes sense that we're subbing out the Millennium stuff for the Mitsurugi stuff, which can put up better negates and also, you know, similar rank 8 bodies as well. You will feel the loss of Appaloosa, I think, most in a build like this, where, like, yeah, you have the option to go into something like Avermax, but it's not going to be as strong as some of the other things that we've seen before. Well, of course, that being the Appaloosa with the multiple monster negates. But I still think it's a pretty solid Link monster to end on. If you have other suggestions, definitely feel free to drop those in the comments below. Always looking for suggestions for the builds. Moving on to Snake Eye Yummy. This is actually a variant that I have a lot of faith in. We're able to keep it at a tight, clean 40 cards. And as you saw, you know, adding Snake Eye cards to the mix definitely does add a decent amount of oomph to the end board. So I think that this has some real potential to be a real Yummy variant. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time playing Yummy, so I'm definitely going to try this one out, because I've also historically really liked playing Snake Eye. And yeah, I think the combo lines feel pretty clean here. Like I said, we're at an even 40 cards, and I'm even playing something like 1-for-1, which is very optional. You could play even more hand traps if you wanted to. And while we do have a couple of kind of bricky cards in Temple and Snake Eye Diabellstar, I think that playing at 40 is still definitely worth it. Although I wouldn't fault somebody for wanting to go a little bit over 40 for that reason here. This is actually, funnily enough, the first Yummy deck I've been playing that utilizes Martial Metal Marcher. You could use Samasin, Samsara, Sarocat, but I kind of like having a Metal Marcher for the pure Yummy lines for a build like this, right? Like, if you open a Yummy monster, there's not really, without opening Snake Eye stuff, there's not really a clean way to go from Yummy into Snake Eye, but with the Metal Marcher, it becomes really easy to still set up basically a pure Yummy end board, even if you don't have access to those Snake Eye cards. But yeah, like I said, I have a lot of faith in this variant, and it's probably going to be one of the first Snake Eye decks I try out when Oak is legal. And finally, we have Snake Eye Orcust. So yeah, this build in particular, I think, is a bit weaker than the other ones. It's just, you know, it's just Orcust really not able to keep up with the rest of the meta quite as well. I wanted to include this build anyway because I've played Snake Eye Orcust in the past, even here on the channel, and I've always really liked and been pleasantly surprised with how well these two archetypes actually mesh together. And the Fiendsmith holding them together is very, very nice here as well. But in spite of that, I'm actually not sure if this variant is actually better than like Millennium Fiendsmith Orcust. I think that kind of deck has a lot of consistency going for it. And at the end of the day, you know, Orcust is still going to suffer from power creep pretty much no matter what version you're playing. So I will say, as much as this pains me, that of the Snake Eye decks we've covered here today, I think that this one is going to be the weakest, but I think it's still a pretty interesting variant. It's nice that you don't have to find a way around your Promethean Princess like the other variants. We can just go into Nightmare Phoenix, which again, we want to do anyway to be able to bridge into our Orcust plays. Alright, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. So thank you all so very much for watching as always. Yeah, hope you liked these builds and combo lines. Like I said, I've had a lot of fun brainstorming Snake Eye ever since the Oak unban was announced, and finding that little sequence to play through Nibiru with your Snake Eye stuff was very satisfying, so I definitely wanted to show that off for sure. But that's going to go ahead and do it as I mentioned, so let's move on to our outro where we can thank those YouTube members and Patreon subscribers. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.